Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the hit list. You can't escape your face on the news. Don't mess with fate. Locked up in prison, wood chipper running hot. Police on a mission, hope you don't get caught. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the lies. Lies and deception, caught in the storm. Future in question, nowhere left to run. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Lies and deception, caught in the storm. Future in question, nowhere left to run. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Oh yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Oh. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is this serious or something?
Sit down.
Is the warrant serious or something?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Sheriff's office, Jermaine, come to the door. Yeah, open the door, come out. Put your shirt on, come here.
I did.
Yeah, warrant. We'll probably do that in about a little bit. You said you liked it.
Yeah.
It's the police. It's the police. We're just picking up Jermaine.
Yeah, we got a detective that'll tell you about it. Huh? We got a detective that'll tell you about it. You gonna get him some slides?
It's the police. Yes, sir. The sheriff's office. Jermaine's got a report.
Yeah, I want you to sit down. Sit down.
Damn, is this serious or something?
Sit down.
Is the warrant serious or something?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Well, they'll tell you.
Who? You?
No, the detectives are gonna tell you.
Oh my God. Is this serious?
Yeah.
I did something?
I mean, I wouldn't be here to arrest you if you didn't do something.
So new at 10, an Oklahoma Air Force captain arrested by state agents. OSBI agents got a tip back in June about this man, Matthew Sanchez, having pictures and videos of children being sexually abused. They went to his work to question him, and then this week, the active duty Air Force captain was booked into the Cleveland County Jail, being held on several criminal complaints, including distribution of child pornography.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Federal and local agencies just announced details on this team effort. NBC4's Keenan Willard joins us now from LAPD headquarters with the message we're hearing from police today. Keenan.
Yeah, Annabelle, in that press conference that took place just in the last hour and a half here in downtown Los Angeles, investigators saying that the threat of this type of exploitation is unfortunately real. It's horrifying, and they're doing everything they can to crack down. They're describing Operation Firewall to us. They say the operation ran for 2 weeks from mid-April up to the start of this month in May. Now, during that time, a federal team from Homeland Security Investigations worked with police and sheriff's offices from across Southern California. Investigators saying they pursued thousands of tips about possible abusers, as well as undercover officers going online into chat rooms, undercover, posing as teen girls as young as 13 years old, where they say predators targeted those undercover officers for abuse. Investigators say Operation Firewall led to 341 arrests for child exploitation and 40 child rescues. And while its progress today, law enforcement tells us this operation shows us how serious the threat of online exploitation can be for kids who are on social platforms like Discord, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as kids on video game platforms like Fortnite.
Get in your kid's stuff. If your kid is alone in their bedroom, go look at what they do, go find out what's on their phone, figure out who they're talking to, find out who their friends are. Importantly, make sure those people are actually friends, because oftentimes they are not.
Really concerning stuff here. Unfortunately, investigators say while some of the children rescued were returned to their families, they also say that some of these victims were targeted by people in positions of trust in their lives. Investigators say they're now working to get resources to all of the victims impacted. In downtown Los Angeles, Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.
Your first alert tonight, the Irmo Police Department says 14 men are off the streets and charged with criminal solicitation of a minor.
Undercover officers posed as minors or adults online with access to children to identify suspects before a child is harmed.
Our Kayla Page has what every Midlands parent needs to know.
Every arrest represents a potential victim who was protected.
The operation all took place in April, and Sergeant Kelly Mountzuros tells us no child was ever used or harmed in the process. For the majority of the men, Kelly says they came to a predetermined location and were arrested on scene.
These investigations are to send a very clear message to these child predators that this is not okay to exploit children online, and they will be identified and held accountable.
Officials with the South Carolina Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force share the red flags that every parent needs to know.
It knows no bounds. We arrested doctors, police officers in these things, in these undercover chat operations. So there's no prototypical offender that we're looking for. People take advantage of children all the time, and it's easy to do it online. You lock your door, you lock your windows, but you leave the internet wide open at your house, and that's how people get into your house and get into your children's lives.
Kevin Atkins is the chief investigator and says predators may send gifts and money to the victims, so parents and family members should be aware.
Be nosy. They may be upset with you, but it's a good thing to be nosy and really ask a lot of questions.
Stephanie Height is the outreach coordinator with the organization and says take note of how your kids are acting.
Knowing the red flags. Does a child's behavior change? Are they wearing different kinds of clothes? Are they biting their nails to the quick? We've had students that they used to be very excited, and now they're very regressed, very more down, wearing darker colors, and maybe they used to wear brighter colors.
Parents in the community sharing their reaction.
It is a concern for me, yes, especially when I can't always control what other children are viewing and what they might have access to. It is a concern for me. These things are close to home, and it's not something that happens in great big cities. It happens right here.
These folks contacting minors online has been a prolific problem, and it's a growing issue. And I'm just thankful that there's folks out there who are working undercover to try to track down these criminals before they're able to reach our kids.
We'll continue to follow this case closely as the investigation is ongoing, and anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. Reporting in the newsroom, Kayla Page, WIS News 10.
New at noon, at least 5 people are facing charges including child sex abuse and sex trafficking after a multi-county investigation. I'm Chandler Morgan.
And I'm Phil Amato. As Action News Jack's Madison Fogley reports, right now investigators are looking for more potential victims.
4 women and 1 man were arrested by the GBI on various charges, all relating to child sexual abuse. Now, so far, investigators say there are 8 victims aged between 3 and 13 years old, with potentially even more victims. Now, here's what we know so far. In early June, Ware County Sheriff's Office arrested one of the suspects on child molestation allegations. During the investigation, they found evidence of several additional victims under the age of 13 in multiple counties. The crimes happened in Ware, Charlton, Clinch, and Bacon counties. Now, Holt and Bryant are charged with sex trafficking. And right now, we're working to get their mugshots and find out more information. So be sure to tune in to Action News Jax later this evening for the very latest. In the studio, Madison Foglio, Action News Jax.
Well, a 5-month investigation leads to the arrest of 19-year-old George Salgado. Illinois State Police say the investigation started in February, that Salgado had child sexual abuse material on several social media platforms. He was identified as the suspect and taken into custody on Tuesday.
In Spartanburg County, this registered sex offender is now accused of having child sexual abuse material. Alan Smith was arrested today. Deputies say they executed a search warrant at his home where they found hundreds of files of child sexual abuse material. Smith is charged with 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor.
In crime in Overton County, a man has been arrested in connection to child abuse material. According to the TBI, in May, police in Virginia were told about a minor sending child sexual abuse material to a man over TikTok, Snapchat, and text messages. Agents later discovered Tristan Hicks had numerous victims in the Cookeville area and across the country. They claimed he would send victims money in exchange for the material. He was taken into custody.
This is Imagarat Bajar Akla Mojo Muhammad Islamadov III. He was arrested in Old Sphincter, Alabama, after a standoff with the Sphincter police. He tried his best to outrun the coppers, but his eyes gave him away, and the coppers sent the dogs into the cave he'd been hiding out in. Islamadov had been communicating with what he believed to be a minor child, but was really a 102-year-old veteran of foreign wars who has been working closely with the police. Imagarat Bajar is now facing severe charges that may now land him in the joint next to Bubba, who honestly doesn't want him there. This is Bryden reporting from the Sex Offender Hitlist. See ya, Chomo.
Make sure that you were aware of it. Let's make sure that I can get this picture pulled up for you. If not, okay, here we go. Okay, this is out of Onslow County. So a man there is facing child sexual exploitation charges. Not quite the news that you want to hear on a Friday, but I still thought you would like to know. So we've learned that he's behind bars on multiple child sexual exploitation charges, and his name is Jonathan Parker, as you see there on your screen. A 30-year-old was arrested yesterday. Court documents say that he duplicated material containing young females engaged in sexual activities. The children's ages ranged from about 2 years old to 14 years old, so very disturbing. Parker was charged with 10 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor, and he was taken to the Onslow County Jail and remains under a $300,000 bond.
A Central Indiana man is behind bars accused of using social media to try to meet up with a 14-year-old girl who turned out to be an undercover police detective. This is Spencer Hitchcock, a 32-year-old of West Lafayette. He was arrested and charged last month with child solicitation, as well as attempted sexual misconduct with a minor. He has since been released from jail after paying a mere $2,500 for bond. Kind of stupid, huh? Police charges against Hitchcock, they stem from alleged conversations that he had over Snapchat with a person he believed to be a 14-year-old girl. However, that girl turned out to be a detective with the Lebanon Police Department who was assigned to a task force targeting child predators like this guy online. The undercover officer had created social media accounts portraying a teenage girl who loved going to parks and the outdoors and fishing and swimming. Well, court documents say that Hitchcock eventually messaged that account under the username Exciting Market and began to speak with the girl on Snapchat. Court documents claim that the suspect began expressing how attracted and excited he was to have that child talking to him, and asked if she ever had sex before. And of course, these undercovers are like, no, please fill me in. Well, he filled her in alright. For your first time, you should get somebody who wants it to be a good experience for you, he reportedly said. Hitchcock reportedly offered himself to be the person to take the decoy's virginity. He also described plans to get the girl drunk on vodka and take her to a hotel room so they could perform specific sex acts. After saying that, he reportedly said, "I could go to jail, LOL." And after specifying that the girl wanted to meet up in order to lose her virginity, Hitchcock booked a hotel room in Carmel and made plans to meet up with the decoy at Main Street Park and Whitestown. Undercover police units stationed at the park reportedly saw Hitchcock's red Volkswagen sedan pull into the park around 9:30, and they messaged the decoy account that he had arrived. And after waiting over 20 minutes for a reply, the suspect reportedly said he had to get back home. You know why? He was scared, of course. He knew the gig was up. Look at those chomo eyes, that chomo nose, that chomo stash, the chomo haircut. Well, once he tried to pull out of the park, the Boone County Sheriff's deputies initiated a traffic stop and took Hitchcock into custody. And while searching him for weapons, the deputy reportedly found 4 unused condoms in Hitchcock's pocket and half an empty bottle of Smirnoff vodka in his car. So, he's been charged with attempted sexual misconduct with a minor, which is a level 4 felony. Child solicitation, attempting to engage in intercourse, another level 4 felony. Attempted sexual misconduct with a minor, a level 5 felony. Child solicitation, as well as attempted fondling and touching, which is a level 5 felony as well. Well, a jury trial is now scheduled to begin on October 13th of next year this year, in front of Judge Lori Sheen. And if convicted on all counts, this Mr. Hitchcock here could face up to 36 years in prison. Online court records show that he has no serious criminal history in the state of Indiana. Well, he does now. See ya, chomo.
A Quincy man who was arrested on child porn charges after harassing a Quincy alderman is scheduled to take a plea deal. 28-year-old Benjamin Inman was in court earlier this week where his jury trial was taken off the docket. Inman is set to take a plea deal on August 14th.
Also in Fayette County, police say an accused child predator was arrested at a local park after a sting set up by an online vigilante group. Police say the man had gone there to meet a teenager for sex, but was met instead by state troopers. KDK's Jennifer Barrasso has more from the Fayette County Prison.
And police say this is about a 64-year-old who wanted to be with a 13-year-old. Now, Vance Stabley is locked up behind me. His bond was denied. State police say they got help in arresting him from an out-of-state online group. The decoy was from Georgia, and a man who confronted him was from New Jersey.
Says a lot about people that will take the time, their own expense, to go after child predators. We can't thank these groups enough for what they do.
64-year-old Vance Stabley of Westmoreland County lured and caught, first not by police, but by an online predator group called Predator Poachers Long Island. On Tuesday afternoon, police say Stabley drove about 25 miles from his Westmoreland County home to Arford Park in South Union Township, Fayette County. Police say he believed he was meeting a teenager he met on social media for sex.
This individual was clearly targeting what he believed was a 13-year-old girl that he had met online, traveled away from his home to a public park where children play.
State police in Uniontown responded to the park after getting a call from the online group. DA Mike Auble says troopers arrested him and found evidence of his alleged crimes.
We came upon the suspect and placed him in custody and observed the vehicle. It was very apparent to us that he intended to engage in sexual activity inside of that vehicle. It appeared that he had a seat down and he had stuffed animals and other things in the back seat of the car.
State police say the online group provided them with printouts of social media messages and text messages that were exchanged. Police paperwork says Stabley confessed to his intentions of having sex with the 13-year-old at the park inside of his vehicle, and he verified the statements he made. Police say they served search warrants and uncovered more evidence, including Stabley allegedly sending a nude photo of himself to a suspected minor.
We served search warrants on multiple devices and a home where we found what is called child sexual abuse material, child pornography.
This woman who lives near the park witnessed the arrest. She says she's relieved.
I'm glad he's off the street now. He can't hurt nobody else. He can't hurt nobody else's kids.
According to the criminal complaint, Vance Stabley admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 12-year-old girl. KDK uncovered that this is not the first time he's been in trouble. Back in 1994, Stabley pleaded guilty to indecent assault in Penn Hills. Reporting outside the Fayette County Jail, Jennifer Barrasso, KDK TV News.
Also new tonight in Lancaster County, a New Providence man is charged with possessing child sexual abuse material. According to charging documents, state police began their investigation last year after they received multiple tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Then last Wednesday, police say they conducted a search warrant at the home of 21-year-old Caleb Wigden. Police say he told them that while he was on the messaging app Kik, he clicked on numerous links containing child pornography, which he says automatically saved to his cell phone. Police say he then transferred those files to a secure folder and deleted them several months ago because he knew it was wrong. According to court documents, he was arraigned on the same day and has a preliminary hearing scheduled for July 29th.
A Parkland man is free this morning after being accused of a terrible crime. Child pornography. BSO says he used a popular app to create those fake images. His arrest comes after Elon Musk actually sued a user for the same thing on the same app called Grok.
And we want to help you protect your kids and your families, especially when it comes to what's being called now as deep fake sexual exploitation. So let's get right to our CBS News Miami Steve Majiri. He's your reporter live in Miami with the steps parents can take right now, Steve.
Yes, well, experts are warning parents that you really need to educate your children early on about the dangers of these AI apps because they can, within seconds, generate images that look real but actually aren't. And as for the arrest here, law enforcement found out about this after they got a tip through X's AI platform called Grok, where it alleged that this person had sexually explicit images that were altered of children anywhere from 5 to 9 years old here. And this is the person on your screen here that was arrested. This is the mugshot of 25-year-old Ray Lecarique. He now faces 11 counts of child pornography. And this also caught the attention of Boca Raton nonprofit Child Rescue Coalition. The organization is building technology for law enforcement to help hunt child predators. They tell us these AI tools have an unsettling ability to create content that looks shockingly real, blurring the lines between what's authentic and what's not for both parents and the authorities that are tasked with combating child sexual abuse materials and protecting children. And of course, as we've said, Elon Musk owns Grok and has said that he's cracking down on this. In fact, X's AI platform sued a user this week alleging that he used the Grok chatbot to create child sexual abuse materials. It's one of the first lawsuits filed by a tech company against users who allegedly create explicit content through the use of AI. And the Child Rescue Coalition CEO Greg Schiller is a former prosecutor. We asked him what parents can do to protect children.
You have the availability to
not let your child download an app without your permission. Somewhere along the line, parents forgot that talking to their children and really having that open dialogue and conversation is the key to prevention.
And the organization recommends that you educate your children about the dangers of AI and to teach them to be skeptical of what they see online. They also recommend you should set boundaries, use privacy settings, and use parental control software to monitor online activity. And we spoke to Lekarik's father and lawyer yesterday. They tell us that they will fight these charges, and they believe that Lekarik is a victim, saying that he has the mental capacity of a fourth grader and has a long documented history of mental health issues. Live in Miami, Steve Majiri, CBS News, Miami.
Steve, thank you so much.
Madera County, California. A man was arrested Wednesday after a multi-agency investigation uncovered suspected child sexual abuse material in Madera County. The Madera County Sheriff's Office said they received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children regarding suspected possession of child sexual abuse material in their county. And of course, you know they're going to jump on it. So then the detectives there identified 77-year-old Madera resident William Mark Gann as a suspect. And on Wednesday, investigators with the Madera County Sheriff's Office, working alongside with the Central California Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force and Homeland Security Investigations, executed a search warrant at his home near Walden Drive and Berkeley Drive in Madera. And guess what they found? Well, during that operation, Gann was contacted. He was taken into custody without incident and arrested on suspicion of possession of child sexual abuse material and booked into the Madera County Jail. Authorities say that all electronic devices associated with Gann were seized and have been examined as part of the ongoing investigation. So far, they found over 6,500 images and videos pertaining to child sexual abuse material. The Sheriff's Office says the investigation remains active, and additional charges, of course, could be considered depending on more forensic results from this Chomo. See ya, Chomo.
More about the arrest of a self-identified pastor and a woman who worked with him for allegations of child sex abuse. We're talking about Thomas Tucker III and Sharada Lewis, who were arrested this week in Houma, and they were being held on a $602,000 bond. Kyra Naveau joining me now in studio. You've been looking into this case, Kai. How did deputies get to an arrest?
So, Sharice, the sheriff's office told me that it really started with the victim going to child services, which led to an investigation and deputies really collecting evidence. Now, detectives say the two were brought in for questioning, and then that's when they denied those allegations. But they were arrested on warrants connected to the case. Now, Tucker faces charges including cruelty to juveniles, felony sexual battery, 2 counts of indecent behavior with juveniles, misdemeanor sexual battery, and simple battery. Now, Lewis faces charges including cruelty to juveniles, principal to felony sexual battery, principal to indecent behavior with juveniles, principals to misdemeanor sexual battery, and simple battery. Now, the sheriff's office did tell me they believe Lewis did not harm a child, but she knew about the issue and didn't say anything. Now, Tucker told investigators that he was a pastor of the Outcast of Society Ministries, where deputies do believe the allegations did take place.
Our number one concern is the safety of the children, right, and the safety of the victims. Ultimately, during the course of this investigation, our Special Victims Unit detectives did uncover some evidence that leads them to believe very strongly that there is the likelihood of additional victims that may be in Terrebonne Parish or the surrounding area.
Now, the sheriff's office says that the children involved are now in a safe environment. Now, I did also reach out to the Attorney General's office because we know she's been efforting locking those up who've been accused of child abuse. I have not heard back from her office at this time. Sharice?
All right, Kai, thank you so much for that update.
We have new tonight at 11. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office says they have arrested one of its top 10 most wanted suspects. Investigators say James Zachary was taken into custody on Friday. He's accused of raping and sexually trafficking a 10-year-old child and faces multiple felony charges. He is being held without bond.
A Laredo man is behind bars tonight on child pornography charges. 26-year-old Alfredo Hernandez Jr. has been identified as a suspect. Investigators say they got a tip 3 months ago and pulled off a search warrant today on East Ash Street. This is very close to the Nixon High School campus. The sheriff's office says Hernandez was found with child sexual abuse material and was allegedly sharing it online. He's been booked at the Webb County Jail.
New one for sex abuse counselors at Prescott House say they are on pace to see a repeat of a 2025 record of number of cases. Last year, the advocacy group counseled nearly 300 child sex abuse victims. Now, we're on your side finding out what you need to know to protect your child from predators.
We are like you, wondering what's going on with so many cases involving child sexual abuse. The vast majority of these abuse accusations happening right here in our viewing area.
So we are at about 150 interviews so far this year, and we also provide counseling for children that have come through Prescott House, meaning that they had an open case with law enforcement or with DHR, and our counselors see clients every day.
We're seeing about the same level that we were seeing in 2025, which was about a 30% increase from 2024.
Prescott House has spent decades serving victims of sexual abuse.
My job here is really to talk with the child and learn the facts about what happened to them. Typically, it's the first step in the investigation.
Those interviews happen in this room to make children feel more comfortable. Police investigators can watch and record the conversations for evidence from a room nearby. In fact, just hours before we arrived, their professionals were counseling a 3-year-old victim.
What we try to do is then help that child and that family put the pieces of their life back together and create something that's beautiful from their brokenness and their scars.
Executive Director Mary Beth Thomas warns the majority of abusers are people parents trust.
And it's the cases where it's a teacher or a parent or a pastor or a coach. Those people who are supposed to be trusted, and those are the people that are predominantly the ones that are creating and causing that harm. What is done in that situation is very insidious and manipulative. It is artful. It is designed to have a child lessen their own sense of safety so that somebody has an unfair advantage to gather their trust.
And as a parent herself,
we had to know the other children that would be there, the siblings that would be there, both parents. And that was just a matter of safety in our eyes.
And Thomas says you don't need to apologize for asking those questions. Counselors say one reason maybe that we're seeing more cases of sex abuse come to light is because there is now more electronic evidence to support those.
The St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office helped arrest a Folsom youth pastor. 72-year-old David Mercer is accused of sexually abusing multiple kids, and this was back in the 1990s. Officials say that he worked at First Baptist Church of Folsom. Investigators believe that there may be additional victims out there who may have not come forward. If you have information, you can call the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office.
What kind of question is that? Broken phone.
A 2-year-old, a bathroom, 10 minutes alone, and a man whose answers, medical, mechanical, every kind, wouldn't add up. Her mother had broken up with him a week earlier. The neighbors had already heard her screaming about the kids, and every adult in this story made a choice that morning. Only one of them had to live with what happened next.
I said I feel like a target because I never done nothing to these kids, dudes. I have no reason to hurt nobody.
The Ocala Forest Campground is a permanent residency in the middle of Florida's National Forest, about an hour north of Orlando. People live there full-time. On the morning of May 3rd, 2022, Kristen Gagne left for work at 9:30 a.m. Her 2-year-old daughter, Jacqueline, known to her family as Cade, stayed behind on Lot 62 with Kristen's boyfriend, Travis Ray Thompson. Travis was 24. He and Kristen had broken up a week earlier, but that morning, he was babysitting.
Just kind of getting back on the road here.
Is you off?
I've been on special assignment for a while.
Oh.
All right, I need your help.
Okay.
Lot 62. You know who lives there?
KRISTINGAGNE.
Anybody else?
She could have a boyfriend or husband, I don't know.
But she's the only one registered to that?
Yeah, that's the one that registered.
By 1:31 in the afternoon, sheriff's deputies were already at the front office of the campground asking which lot Kristen lived at, because somewhere across town, a 2-year-old had just been wheeled into an emergency room, and the man who brought her in wasn't her father.
Somebody that does not go by that name is down in Waterman right now with a small kid, and the small kid might not make it.
Ooh.
So
was it abuse or something?
We don't know.
Don't know.
They didn't know yet, but the doctors at the hospital were already calling the sheriff's office because the imaging didn't lie. Travis was at the hospital with Kristen. Cade had been pronounced dead 3 hours after she arrived. The hospital staff had a problem. Internal bleeding behind her abdomen, a fully severed spine, and the man who brought her in saying he was in the bathroom when it happened. By that afternoon, Travis was in an interview room at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, walking detectives through what happened.
They did that. I made coffee. Me and Kristen drank our coffee, smoked a cigarette. Me and went down to the lake while she went to work, and then after we came back, I put her on the couch to watch Cat Dog. She had her drink. I told her the Cheez-Its were right there. If you want some, help yourself. I don't care. She was with Luca. I had to use the bathroom. I was in there for about 10 minutes, and then I heard her collapse on the floor.
Coffee, a walk to the lake, cartoons on the couch, a trip to the bathroom, and then, according to Travis, a 2-year-old girl sitting on a futon somehow collapsed onto the floor and broke her own back.
Where the doorknob would be, she was just like laying on the floor, like, hey, you all right? She didn't respond, so I hit the door up. I was like, hey, you all right? She still wasn't responding, so I flushed, pulled my pants up, ran over to her, and she was like making a gurgling sound, like I thought she probably swallowed some water down the wrong tube or something, but that wasn't the case, because when I picked her up, she was limp. She wasn't breathing. She's literally trying to like breathe, and she's not breathing, so I started doing CPR. So I just kept doing CPR. When I tried to call 911, they didn't even dial, it didn't even go through, it didn't do anything.
He says he started CPR. He says he tried to call 911. He says it didn't go through, so he called Kristen instead.
So I was just like, all right, so this is bad. This is bad. So I just kept doing the CPR. I kept checking to see if she was breathing. She was barely breathing, but she had a good heart rate. And that's pretty much like the main thing of what I knew that was a good sign to have.
By the time Kristen made it home from work, her daughter had a heartbeat, but barely. They put Cade in the car. They started driving toward the hospital, and somewhere on that drive, Kristen realized her daughter had stopped breathing entirely. That's when 911 finally got the call from Kristen from the passenger seat. Paramedics met them at a barbecue restaurant on the side of the road. Cade was pronounced dead 3 hours later. While detectives were inside with Travis, other deputies were knocking on every door at the campground. They started next door at Lot 63. The man who lived there was Adam Keller.
Quite oftentimes, the both of them get left outside, parents inside. Okay. And the boy would run around the park with another girl, and the little girl would just be playing over here.
Okay. Did you ever hear any yelling or screaming coming from there?
Yeah, a few months back I heard her scream, touch my kid.
Her scream that?
Yeah, her scream that. You don't have no right to touch my kids. Don't hit my kids again.
Don't hit my kids again?
2 children outside, unsupervised, routinely. And months before Cade ended up on a hospital bed with a severed spine, her own mother had been screaming at the man who would eventually kill her to stop hitting her kids. More than one person knew. Nobody did anything. 4 lots over, the deputies talked to Kenneth Shaw.
My morning ritual is I come out here and I sit right where she's at and I have a cup of coffee.
Yes, sir.
And all I heard was a female scream, no, and some commotion, and and that was about the extent of it.
Okay. You said you heard a woman scream no. Like a scream or like... Okay.
Like she was
right.
Scared and...
Okay. After that, you said you heard a commotion. Can you just like things being thrown, things being
Maybe
moved?
A couple banging of things around a little bit, but
okay.
You know, other than that, it was.
Gotcha.
It was quiet.
A man 4 lots away heard exactly what you'd expect from a camper where a 2-year-old's spine was about to be broken in half. Travis told detectives he was alone with Cade for 10 minutes. He didn't mention a scream. While the campground witnesses came in fast, another voice reached detectives a few days later, and it didn't come from the Ocala forest at all. It came from a former employer of both Travis and Kristen, a man named Mike Bowen. Bowen called Detective King directly. He had a reason.
This young lady lived in my house with her mom for 4 months last year. Fed her, clothed her, played with her, bathed her, educated her, loved her, and I've known her mom for a long time. Her mom was my employee and a business partner for a long time. The gentleman that she is or was living with, Travis Johnson, was also an employee. Also have a long knowledge and history of him. Very violent.
Bowen had spent 30 years working in Central Intelligence before getting into the campground business. He didn't use the words volatile lightly, and he had specific reasons for using it.
Actually taken him out to eat before, so yeah, I have pretty good knowledge of both of them. I know that Travis is very volatile individual. One of the reasons he couldn't be employed with us on a regular basis was because of his propensity to be violent with other employees, just on a dime. He would take a swing at people. He beat his mother half to death on a couple of occasions. They wouldn't do a police report on it, but all of us saw the aftermath of it.
No police reports, no charges, just a small community of people who'd watched Travis Ray Thompson put his own mother in the hospital more than once and decided not to tell anyone until a 2-year-old was dead.
I'm very worried about it. She's a very strong person. I can just tell you that she's probably one of the finest, most devoted mothers I've ever met in my life. She would do literally anything and sacrifice anything for those children. I'm afraid that
by the time Bowen made this call, he was already worried Kristen's phone had been taken from her. He thought Travis's family was controlling who she talked to. He was a former intelligence officer. He'd set up a code word with her just in case.
Kristen and I have been friends for a long time, and we basically have, this is going to sound a little extreme, but basically have a safe word or a series of safe words in case she needs something. I worked for Central Intelligence for 30 and a half years, so these things are kind of within my realm. And there are things that she would know to say to me if she were having a problem. So now that this has occurred, and I've tried to communicate with her, what I've found out is her phone's been taken away from her. So when I'm communicating with her, it's not her, and we have a vernacular and we have a safe word so that I know that it's her on the other end of the phone.
She wasn't answering. What detectives needed to know going into their next round with Travis was that this was not a one-off. This was a pattern, and this time the pattern had killed somebody. When detectives sat down with Travis at the sheriff's office that afternoon, they weren't accusing him of anything. They told him they were just trying to figure out what happened. But they already had 3 things he didn't know they had: his phone, the medical examiner's preliminary findings, and his own probation file. And before they reached for any of it, they let him talk.
Okay, because Kristen doesn't want me to put my hands on them. I don't want to spank them either, but I mean, if they're really out of line and not listening, and we'll get 1 pop and then still get put in the corner for 5 minutes.
That's an important word. Pop. He used it without prompting. Nobody had asked Travis whether he hit the kids. He just told them he did. Then the detective asked him what he thought might have happened to Cade, and Travis started reaching.
So now that you've been able to think about it for a day, and I'm not a doctor, Detective King's not a doctor, none of us, we're not doctors, but we learn things and we've learned things, and I'm sure that you've been able to think about things. What do you think happened?
I don't know. That's what honestly bothers me, because the deeper I think about it, I can't answer that. Even I've asked other family members, what do you think could happen? There's it could have been a brain aneurysm, or it could be lupus, or this and that. See, I was someone else mentioned lupus too, but I was there's no way. or it's SIDS, and it's like, see, but no, she's 2, and then they told me that it's a 60% chance between kids that are 4 months old and 6 years old. I'm like, I don't exactly know that because I don't have kids.
Lupus, an autoimmune disease that doesn't snap spines. SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, a condition that almost exclusively affects babies under 1 year old. Cade was 2. These are the explanations Travis was reaching for. A man who claims he had no idea what happened, listing diseases he hopes might explain a severed spine because he can't.
But I can tell you from being there and seeing this happen and seeing them go through this autopsy, there's some injuries that occurred that I don't see how they could possibly be an accident, Travis.
That sentence sits between them like a loaded gun on the table. The detective hasn't accused Travis. He's just told him, in the calmest possible voice, that what happened to Cade was not an accident. And then he offered Travis his first way out.
Well, we haven't got to talk to Kristen about it yet. That's next up. But in these kind of cases, where someone has passed away, I've been doing this for years. If someone passes away, we always give them an opportunity to clear their name. I've had cases where I take somebody down the hall and we put them on a polygraph, and whenever they pass the polygraph, obviously they can tell their loved one, spouse, girlfriend. I didn't do anything wrong in this. They even gave me a polygraph down the hall. This sounds like a good case here where we would offer that to you. If I were to put you on a polygraph right now and ask you,
What is that?
Oh, it's the lie detector, like the scientific name for it. If we were to just ask you, on the polygraph, did you hurt? Would that be something that you'd be interested in doing today?
Not exactly, because I know within myself and God knows that I would never do anything to harm these children.
Police are legally allowed to lie to you in an interrogation. They can offer a polygraph they have no intention of running. They can tell you the test will clear you, when in reality, the test rarely clears anyone. What they're doing when they offer it is reading you, because if you've got nothing to hide, you take the test. Travis didn't take the test.
Because this injury that is to her body, whenever the doctors looked at it, whenever they did the autopsy, they're looking at this injury and they're going, this injury doesn't seem to make any sense with this sitting on a futon and getting hurt thing.
The detective doesn't say what the injury is. Not yet. Just that it doesn't fit Travis's story. And he watches Travis.
And you're with her.
It was something from before when she wasn't in my care. But I'm not going to lie, I already expected that this was going to be something that was going to happen.
What is it? Why? What's that?
Because that's normally how it goes. That's just my luck. People think that I always have something to do with it, that I'm this mean, horrible person, this and that, but really straight up, I haven't done nothing.
The injury that she has does not, it doesn't correlate with the story.
But I don't know what the injury is.
Okay.
So how am I supposed to tell you if I don't know?
Well, anything at all that I know, because I have a few kids, anything at all that you can think of that you moved her, touched her in some way that would cause a bone to break. Without saying what bone, because I don't want to let all the cats out all the bags, but there is a bone that's broken on her body. It's a very important bone. And can you think of anything that obviously would cause a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old's bone to break? It would be a significant amount of force, more so than just sitting on a futon. And that's why we're just trying to figure out if there was something that you had left out earlier.
Watch what the detective just did. He told Travis the injury required significant force. And then, in the same breath, he handed him a way out. Maybe you left something out earlier. That's minimization. The detective is offering Travis a doorway. Walk through it. Tell us you panicked. Tell us you slipped. Tell us anything other than the truth, and we'll listen. Because the truth, by the medical examiner's timeline, was already locked in.
So here's the problem that I have with that, okay? You gave me consent last night. We don't hold the entire time.
The documentation.
There's no,
exactly.
It records everything that phone does, and there was no attempt to call 911 from that camper.
But there was.
The phone says there wasn't.
Cell phones don't need to connect to log the attempt. Every dial, successful or failed, leaves a record. The Marion County Sheriff's Office had the records pulled by their digital forensic technician. There was no record of any 911 attempt from inside that camper. The first 911 attempt on his phone showed up half an hour later in the car at the Old Crow Barbecue. And by then, Cade was already gone.
I know the phone says there wasn't, but that's what I also mentioned as well, that it didn't go through at all. I would hit it.
It doesn't have to go through. It records. If a number is tried, it could be completely disconnected from service, and you try to call a phone number, and it will log that it is trying to call that phone number.
Failed immediately.
It's the kind of answer people give when they've already been caught, and they're still hoping the lie will somehow hold.
And was there some kind of abuse done to you regarding that?
With him, yes, and my mother, absolutely.
And I'm understanding a little bit about you. Now, look at it from our point of view as investigators. You're talking to us about a prior time that you were accused of some form of child abuse that resulted in some 4 years later paperwork, and then now we're seated here and Detective King goes to an autopsy and there's a significant bone break while you're caring for the child. That's why, if you were in our shoes here, you'd be looking for a little bit more here and trying to make sense out of something.
I understand that, I do. But
so that's what we're wondering here.
I have no idea. I wasn't even aware. Had I been aware of that, I would have told Kristen immediately.
In 2019, Travis Ray Thompson was already a suspect in a child abuse investigation. The previous incident, he'd sat down on a 4-year-old's arm and broke it. He was never charged criminally, but he was placed under an injunction, a court order, forbidding him from being around children. He'd already been arrested once for violating that injunction by possessing firearms. He was on misdemeanor probation for that violation when Kay died. The man babysitting Kristen's 2 children that morning was not allowed to be around children. After the priors, the detective tried something else. He stopped pressing on facts and started pressing Travis.
Yeah, when I was on the road, I used to see people get in these arguments with family members, their mom, their dad, their girlfriend, and they would push or hurt somebody, and they don't even mean to even lash out with their body, but they are, and then they would forget, and then somebody would show me a cell phone video, and then they would say, I just saw red, detective or deputy at that point. I blacked out, and I don't even know what I was doing.
No, nothing like that. No.
That's the doorway again, wider this time. The detective is saying, maybe you didn't mean to. Maybe you snapped. Maybe she was crying and you got frustrated and you pushed her too hard. Walk through. We'll listen. Travis didn't walk through. He pushed back.
And we're not here to judge you regarding whatever those outcomes are, but we need to make sense out of it. We just have to understand why it happened and what the circumstances were without any judgment from us. In fact, what we talk about is private.
I feel like a target.
Nobody had said he was a target. Nobody had read him his rights. Nobody had used the word arrest or suspect once in 3 hours of conversation. But Travis felt like a target because he knew what they'd found. And then, toward the end of the interview, the detective stopped offering doorways. He turned his evidence into a question Travis couldn't answer.
Yeah.
So,
but that's nothing that was inflicted by me.
Right. Have you ever heard the saying, lightning doesn't strike twice? This seems like an unusual coincidence to me. And that's what I'm trying to gauge you as. Are you a kind of guy that just says, I'm not taking a polygraph. The whole world should believe me. I wouldn't hurt any kids. Look at all these things. They're just accidents. They didn't happen. I don't know what happened. This is crazy. And then they just say, this is crazy.
In 2019, a 4-year-old's arm broke in Travis's care. Travis said it was an accident. In 2022, a 2-year-old's spine broke in Travis's care. Travis said it was an accident. The detective wasn't accusing him. He was just doing math out loud.
And that's what I'm trying to get here is, are you this like 1% of the people that I talk to that actually doesn't care at all about what they did? That
Of course I care.
They go out and they find kids to just take out their anger on? Or are you somebody that was abused as a child, went through physical abuse, has, I don't know, problems with taking care of children, which is why there was something in the past that happened?
This is literally crazy. This is literally crazy.
2 boxes. Either Travis was a sociopath who didn't care, or he was a man who couldn't help himself. Trauma he never asked for, breaking children he never meant to. The detective had given him a way to be human, and Travis didn't take it. After about an hour of this, the detectives wrapped up. They told Travis they wanted to step out, that they needed to talk to Kristen first.
Well, I want to go talk to Kristen right now and kind of tell Mom that first. I think that would be better. So yeah, we're gonna talk to her, and we're gonna come back and we'll talk to you. But I want to get over to Mom real quick and tell her what we know. You understand. So yeah, just think about that. We'll come back in a minute, okay? If you need anything, we're right outside the door. Like I said, you can just knock on it and open it up. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
They closed the door behind them. The camera kept rolling.
What kind of question is that? I don't know.
He's talking to himself, or to the empty room. He doesn't know we're watching.
Broken phone. Broken from what? Wow, this is ridiculous. What the fuck?
It is a strange thing to mutter to yourself about a child whose injury you supposedly know nothing about. Because if you actually believe she fell off a futon, you wouldn't be running the question, broken from what, through your head. You'd be running through how she fell. Travis Ray Thompson never confessed. He never said the words, "I did it," to a single detective. He never stopped insisting he didn't know how Cade got hurt. But for about 30 seconds, in a room he thought was empty, he came as close as he was ever going to come. At the same time detectives were running Travis through the medical evidence, a different detective was sitting across from Kristen. Her interview lasted 4.5 hours. For most of it, she defended him. She said Travis would never hurt the kids. She said the injury must have happened sometime when Travis wasn't around. She said she didn't know, but the detective started reading her own messages back to her.
And I want to tell you everything. But I can't right now, and you're just going to have to trust me a little bit. That I can't go into all these intricate details, but I've told you the base of it. We have to deal with this. Like I told you last night, I wish there was something I could tell you to fix it, but there's not.
And it's just going to keep getting worse from here.
And at some point in my experience of doing this, people initially want to say, I'm telling you everything, and then you come to the realization that maybe not. So are there things that have happened that you're not telling me about?
He's never, like, hit me. He's never really held me down or anything. There's a time that he threw a bottle at me. There was a time that he had my phone and I left and he came back and I tried to get it and he tackled me on the bed. There was something else that he threw, but it was light. He was upset one day and he broke a cup or a jar or something.
So you have seen some violent outbursts in him when he gets angry.
Yep.
How recent was that?
Not the most recent time was when he kept my keys from me and he locked me out of the camper.
Each incident, by Kristen's own timeline, escalated. The last one had been about 2 weeks before Cade died.
Do you think that maybe he hit her?
I can't make that determination.
It's not the answer of a woman who believes him. It's the answer of a woman who just realized she doesn't. The room went quiet for a long time after that. The camera caught her sitting with it for nearly a full minute. No words, just the camera. Kristen's interview kept going for another hour and a half. The detective walked her through everything detectives had already walked Travis through. The medical examiner's findings, the impossibility of the futon explanation, the prior 2019 case Travis had on his record. At 3.5 hours in, she said the only sentence she had left.
And if I would have known that that was going to happen, I wouldn't have come back. I wouldn't have looked at it. I would have never even had him around my kids if I would have known that that was going to happen.
She didn't say she didn't see warning signs. She said, if I had known. The signs were there. The bottle, the keys, being locked in her own camper. Months earlier, when the kids heard her screaming, she'd already confronted Travis about hitting the kids. She'd broken up with him a week before Cade died. She was trying to leave. He killed Cade anyway. The Marion County Medical Examiner's Office took 4 months to finish the autopsy and release a final report. When they did, the cause of death was no longer in question. She didn't collapse off a futon. She didn't fall while watching cartoons. What the medical examiner described, in the calmest, most clinical language possible, was a person standing in front of a 2-year-old child and bending her in half, slowly, deliberately, until her spine snapped in two. On September 8th, 2022, a week after the medical examiner's findings became official, Marion County deputies arrested Travis Ray Thompson and charged him with first-degree murder while engaging in aggravated child abuse.
This is such bullshit. Goodbye, job opportunity. I cannot go back to jail over shit I didn't fucking do, dude. Suffering. They've been harassing me, so I know the body was released a while ago. I don't fucking know shit. Hey, Travis. It's Dan Pender. I don't know if you remember me or not. Yes, I remember you. I'm going to leave you a water in here real quick. I'm
supposed to drink it?
Well, that's what I was going to get to. I'm going to get the deputy that brought you in just to move your handcuffs up to the front. As soon as we're done, we're going to come in and talk to you. So let me get somebody to move those
Is
handcuffs.
it actually going to be a talk, or are you going to sit here and tell me exactly what it is I did, or what you guys think I did?
Well, I'm always curious about people that want to talk. I know it's been a while since we talked.
No one's talked to me, but I can tell you I've been harassed the entire time.
Well, I'm really sorry about that. I don't think I haven't harassed you in any. We haven't talked to you at all.
The family.
Alrighty, well, hang tight. Let me get. Could you get his handcuffs moved to the front? We'll talk in 1 second, okay? Let me just get all this stuff taken care of and printed out. Hey, Travis. So I know it's been a while since you and I talked. So I hate that it had to be this long and that we've had to, that I haven't had contact with you since and all. We've been waiting on some results and all to come back, which we recently got back a lot of results. And a bunch of findings from a medical examiner and the doctor and such that I'd like to talk to you about. Obviously, you didn't come up here on your own free will. You're still in handcuffs, right? But I got a lot of paperwork back from the medical examiner, from the doctor, all the tests that they did. Obviously, it's been months since you and I talked last. All of these test results, all of the findings, all of the opinions from these doctors that have done this for years shows that this is possibly something that you plan to do.
Plan to do.
And that's what I want, is I want your explanation as to what happened. I don't think you're the type of guy that would have planned something like this.
No.
And there's a couple people that have tried to tell me that you are.
I bet they fucking have.
So what I want to know, Travis, is what actually happened.
Everything I told you is what actually happened. Kristen went to work. I woke up, took my guns out like I was supposed to clean them, never got the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
I got in trouble for that, obviously, because I went to jail for it.
Right.
So, we went to the lake. Kristen went to work. We were there for like 20 minutes. I brought her back. She wanted to watch Cat Dog. So I put on Cat Dog. I went to the bathroom. I heard something hit the floor. I opened the door. She wasn't moving. Unresponsive.
A lot of the way that the
All I
doctor...
can really tell you is that in that 10 minutes of me being in the bathroom, she was out there with Luca. I don't know. And I'm not going to be pinned for something that I didn't do, because I would never harm that little girl on my life. I wouldn't have stepped up to be the dad that I was.
Look, Travis, there is no explanation.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You guys think I'm withholding information? I've told you everything. I don't know. You don't think this bothers me? The entire time I sat in jail, it didn't bother me? The entire time I've been out, it hasn't bothered me? That there's no explanation?
Right. Travis, the injuries that she sustained can't be explained by her falling off of a bed, or even if she had jumped off of the bunk beds in the back of the camper. That doesn't explain the severity of the injuries that she had.
I know.
Lightning striking once, twice, 75 times in the same spot thing, it doesn't make any sense, especially when the doctors are saying that this amount of force came from. You're the only one there with her. She didn't just fall off of a 20-inch above the ground futon. It wasn't something a dog or something like this. This is you getting upset about something. I'm guessing you got upset about something, or this is you just saying.
Upset about. It was literally just a normal day.
I went through all of your text messages between you and Kristen. Okay. There's a high level of emotion in those text messages.
I bet.
Because y'all had broken up the week before, right?
Something like that.
When she
said they were texting how she would act in person are completely different.
I get that, and I read that in the text messages.
So that's very confusing.
Okay, I read all that in the text messages where she even says that she acts differently over text than she does in person. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you, Travis, is that I can see that emotion in these text messages, and I can tell you from what I've been told from the people that are also involved in this, is they see these text messages of you extremely upset because the girl that you love has just told you that she doesn't want to be with you, she doesn't love you, and she's moving out. She tells you all of that. You feel like this entire time that you've been with her has been completely wasted, and she's turned her back and walked away on you. What I don't want, Travis, is for it to look like, because of all that going on, you get mad and you plan in advance to do this.
You guys know the charges he's being charged with?
Yeah, so I told you in the parking lot.
Yeah, first degree homicide. What the
Do you know the implications of first
No, I don't. I don't know shit.
It's eligible for the death penalty, Travis.
I'm gonna die.
Look, I didn't say that. I mean, a
saying
long enough timeline, we're all going to
first
pass
degree
away, but
homicide
that's not what he's saying.
is a plausible. The death penalty is plausible in a first degree homicide. Hey Travis, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to paint you in the picture so that we can move away from that a little bit. I don't want to fucking die, dude.
It's a fact that I'm sorry goes a long way. It's a fact that it's a fact that you're under arrest for murder. That you killed her.
I didn't kill a child.
You did. Yes,
Travis.
you did.
No, I didn't.
You did. Whether or not you meant to kill her, that's up in the air. But that's why we're here to talk. But you killed her. She's dead because of you.
Right now, it looks like you meant to do it. You had all intent to do it. No, it's just a fake. I know. I don't know is my honest answer. And that's unacceptable. I will make sure that I document that is your answer to our question of how 2-year-old toddler is dead. This isn't going to be like your misdemeanor violation of an injunction. Oh yeah, like I'm going to get out anytime soon. You're I'm like, probably get going to get the death penalty and die.
Who do you care about besides yourself? That is apparent.
That's a true statement.
That is the first truth.
Yeah, because that's what you want to hear, right? No. Just told you that, and look at that, you both agreed. I do agree. I can accept the truth. And it's very clear that the only person you care about is you. No, but that's the thing. I literally just lied to you and said, oh, that's a true statement. Really?
Straight face, just lie. That's weird.
I was told when I was
Travis,
in there.
had you never, ever put your hands on that child?
Or maybe had you called 911 40 minutes prior when you called
Or
Kristen
told
instead of driving
the
off?
medical staff in the ambulance, listen, I did something real bad, this is what I did. Please save her. Then you could have ran off into the night. Never seen anybody ever again. But nope, you kept it. You kept it through sitting there by yourself. You kept it through telling Kristen. You kept it again through going to the paramedics. You kept it again at the hospital. You've kept it from the detective. You kept it from Kristen again after you got out of jail. And you're keeping it right now.
He was held without bond at the Marion County Jail, and then, for nearly 3 years, he waited. On June 4th, 2025, after a multi-week trial, a Marion County jury deliberated for less than 2 hours before returning a verdict. Guilty, first-degree murder. Judge Barbara Kistner sentenced him to life in prison immediately, the same day the verdict came down. Jacqueline Schwingle was 2 years old. Her family called her Cade. On the last morning of her life, she had coffee with her mom, watching from a few feet away, playing with the dog. She rode a toy car down a dirt path to a lake. She wanted to go fishing. Travis told her they'd have to wait. She watched cartoons on a futon. She had a snack. And then she was alone in a camper with a man her mother had broken up with a week earlier. A man with an injunction in his file telling him not to be around children. A man the neighbors had already heard her mother screaming at months before to stop hitting her kids. Cade never got to go fishing.
Broken clock on the back wall, counting down till the last bell rings. You lock the door with the plastic smile, say this is just our little secret thing.